time.
Turn it.
It's every time. It's every time. I'm consistent with the mission every time.
Drip up.
On my wrist and neck, you know I shine. No capping when I'm rapping, you can check your line for line.
It's every time.
It's every time. I'm consistent with the mission every time. Drip up on my wrist and neck, you know I shine. No capping when I'm rapping, you can check your line for line. I do this every time.
What's happening, everybody? My name is Kyren Monteiro.
What's good with it? You know it's young Pootie here.
This is the Board Talk podcast presented by Frequency Canvas. Man, give yourself a round of applause, man.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to everybody that rock with us, man. Before we dive in, we want to make sure that y'all check us out on Google Podcasts, Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts at, man. Go rate us. Make sure that y'all check out the website, frequencycanvas.com, to get content and services and all of that type of stuff, man. Pootie, how you doing today, dog?
Man, I'm doing blessed, man. I can't complain, man. It's a
blessed, man.
Day out here, man. I'm alive, willing. It's a beautiful day, brother.
Bro, it's a beautiful day, man. How your week been so far, man?
It's been good, man. Just consumed with the actual gig and being down here working, man. It's been a cool week so far, man. It's the beginning. It's gonna pan out.
It's definitely gonna pan out, man. We got a loaded episode today, man. Before we dive in, I think it's crazy to recognize that how powerful the music community and audio community is with all of this Wave subscription stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, it's crazy. So for those that don't know, there's a company called Waves, Waves. They are a plug-in company. Plugins are digital tools that help us shape sonic frequency things. Like EQs, compressors, and everything like that.
Anything you can imagine, any type of effect.
Yeah, so Waves is like one of the OGs of plug-in companies, and at the end of March, they went to a fully subscription model, where they were taking perpetual licenses away, and perpetual licenses mean that you can buy and own it, right? So if you already bought the plug-in, they were going to force you to an all subscription model, and boy, the kickback on social media and YouTube was so crazy, and they end up bringing everything back. So to the audio and the music community, like, let's band together more, and maybe we hand clap for the audio community, man,
because it happened quick.
It happened like days quick. You know what I'm saying? So look, man, today on episode 6, we got fine gentleman Derrick Weatherly AKA D Weatherly of Weatherly Sonics.
Yes, sir.
He's an amazing music producer, and we got some things that we're going to talk to y'all today about. We're going to talk about music producer versus beat maker, and my man Pootie really going to head the conversation up, but we're going to get in distant fashion on the Board Talk podcast. We're going to call him up.
Let's do that, man.
And we're going to get him on this thing, man.
Yes, sir.
Let's call him up and let's get him on here, man.
We hope everybody out there is having a good day, a good week.
For sure.
Hello?
Mr. D Weatherly. Weatherly Sonics.
What's going on?
What's going on with it, brother?
Welcome to Board Talk podcast episode 6. How you doing today, man?
Doing well, feeling blessed, man. Can't complain.
Man, before we called you, man, we were just talking about how powerful the audio community is on that Wave subscription.
Oh my gosh, shutting boys down.
Man, come on now.
Dog, if we could ban more like that, dog. Boy. Now we need to do that on the update plan.
If we can get on the update, then that's something crazy.
If we get rid of the update, dog, that'd be.
Bro, what?
They ain't going for that.
Nah, they ain't.
Hey, low-key, yeah, that's too much money being lost out.
Hey, but they went for that. They went for the community up in uproar, though.
I mean, if you saying it like that, yeah, if we can band together to overthrow them, yeah, for sure, that could work.
It'll definitely work, man. So D, man, Pootie gonna take this over, man. We all got the points, man. I feel like we got some dope content, man. But before we even start interviewing you, for people who may not know, D Weatherly is from Marion, Indiana, same city I'm from, and definitely is a dope dude. He's my family. He's a real musician. He ain't just somebody that's taking loops and flipping 808s and stuff. Like bro really know music. Really does music for real. Really embodies what being a musician and a music business person is at the same time. So D, can you kind of talk about like you growing up in Marion, growing up in the church, how you came to music and got to where you at right now?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, most definitely. So I was born in Denver, Colorado, but my mom's came back to Marion when I was like 2 months old. So I'd say if they asked me, I was born and raised in Marion, Indiana. But name is Derrick Weatherly. If y'all familiar with the Weatherlys, very musical family. You know, everybody plays an instrument or sings or dances, does something in the arts. And so raised up in the church, learned how to play the drum. Shout out to my cousin John. I'm actually Kyren's uncle. But shout out to John Wesley, man. Definitely taught me how to play the drums. Then he moved over to the keys. So we was in there rocking that money. And just a little side note, too, I used to always be jealous of Kyren because he always played the drums better than me.
Oh, here we go.
I always play the drums better than me. Him and Ronnie low key. But
you got me back because you make beats better than me, so you got me back now.
That's saying something.
So yeah, raised up in the church, man, around some powerful musicians and singers. Went off in like 2007, 2008 was when I got into music production and making beats. My boy Travis Stranger, one of the hardest artists to come out of Marion. If you got a problem with it, catch me outside. How about that? But Travis showed me he actually showed me Propellerhead Reason, now known as Reason Studios. So he showed me that. That's where he was making his beats, and I really just dived into it super heavy, just learned the whole program inside and out. So started making beats. Me and Travis started doing music together. We got a couple mixtapes out there. Was going to actually move to New York with another guy to pursue music even further, but things fell through. Ended up getting into corporate America and whatnot. And then a few years, I would say back in 2020, my mom passed away in 2020, but that made me kind of shift my mindset. Even before then, I need to get back into making music. And then when she passed, I definitely went full throttle. So came down here to Charlotte for my corporate job, but just down here making moves on the music scene.
I can dig that.
And who are some of the artists that you work with? Some big artists from Charlotte. So can you tell us real quick some of the people you work with?
Yeah, most definitely. Shout out to my homegirl Tianis Rose, one of the coldest down here in Charlotte. Currently signed a Social Currency Exchange. Big Molly on South Coast Music Group. That's the same label as The Baby. So me and Big Molly got some stuff that's going to be coming out. And shout out to my boy Sikk. He just performed at what was it? He just performed at, I think, South by Southwest. Just performed a few songs, and I got a song with him, and we got some more stuff on the way too. So shout out to all them.
Yeah, that's what's up, man.
Yeah, for sure.
That's definitely what's up, man. Pootie, what you got lined up, man?
Man, before I get in that, I just want to ask you said all these instruments and everything you play. What is your go-to instrument to go to?
Oh, the drums. So I tell everybody I'm fluent in drumming. Like I do enough on the keys to make people think I can actually play. I can't play them keys, man. I do enough to get by, but I'm fluent in playing the drums.
I feel that. I feel
that in a time period of just taking loops and chord pads, when you could do something, you like Thor. You could play Mary Had the Little Lamb, and they gonna hire you for a church service.
Man. Lightweight cheating. But getting into it, we're gonna start out. So we're gonna start out establishing the difference between a music producer and a beat maker. So what's your outlook on that?
The age-old question. Music producer, beat maker. Well, shout out to both. Shout out to the beat maker, shout out to the music producers, and shout out to the musicians too. I even had a third one on there with the musicians. I'm all three of them. You can call me what you want. You call me a beat maker, you call me a music producer, but you can't call me broke.
Come on now.
But shout out to everybody out there who's doing that. But I would say, just to break it down, the musicians, of course, is someone who plays an instrument, a live instrument, whether it's the drums, piano, guitar, bass, whatever. A beat maker is simply what it says. It's a beat maker. And none of these, in my opinion, are more important than the other one. There's just, there's just different lanes. But the beat maker is usually someone who makes the beat. They're usually cooking up, in a studio or their home studio, and they tend to send the beat out via email or direct messaging, and the beat may get placed that way or whatnot, but they tend to just be more focused on making the beat itself.
Okay.
Now the music producer, let's take it back a little bit, quick little history lesson. So back in the day, it used to be called a record producer, and the record producer, technically, they didn't have nothing to do with the making of the music at all. They would have the band and the musicians would make the actual music, but the record producers themselves would be in charge of the overall production of the song. So whether that was being in charge of the budget of recording sessions, being in charge, make sure all the band mates would get to the studio on time and be there getting it done, overseeing the mixing and mastering process, but just really being focused on the actual song itself. So nowadays we call it a music producer. And a lot of times beat maker and music producer gets split back and forth. But like the music producer is just more involved in the actual production of the song, not only the beat. So, that would be the main difference between, beat maker and music producer, in my opinion.
I could dig that for sure. So with that being said, in what cases do you believe that an artist should have a music producer versus a beat maker?
Well, man, if you have the budget, I would say always go with the music producer, just because having those second set of ears, second set of opinions, I guess that can get a little tricky at times too. But just having that expertise with you, a lot of music producers tend to be beat makers as well, or even audio engineers,
right? Too.
So if you have the music producer and you can get them to do the beat making and the music production part of it too, you kind of get that 2-in-1. Just someone who could be in there with you while you're recording. Like the most important step in the recording is like getting it right at the source itself. So while you're in the recording, making sure your levels ain't too high. If you have an engineer, obviously let them handle that. At all these positions, you need all of them
for
to
sure.
be successful in the long run.
I feel like the music producer, it's almost like an umbrella of things, because obviously you producing and doing that, but like you said, you could also be an engineer or you could be an artist. So like, you add an input into the songs, into the records that you helping make for real, as being opposed to a beat maker, which, like you said, ain't nothing wrong with being a beat maker. I'm a beat maker too. Exactly. So I mean, it's an umbrella of things, I think, in my opinion.
And the music producers too, like they may even be involved in the songwriting process. They may, even if they're not even a full thing, like if you in the studio and you hear an artist say something real corny, you like, hey, bro, like the song is hard, but that line right there, I would probably take that out and switch it with something like this. Like you're not writing the whole song or writing all their lyrics per se. Right. Some of them do, but just being able to give that input, or like maybe they said something in a weird tone, like, man, that ain't gonna come across as well in the mixing process. So just like you said, just that umbrella effect of having that input.
Oh, for sure. So I'm gonna switch gears a little bit now, since we talking about being broke and everything. We're gonna talk a little money right now. So what rates do you think that an independent recording artist should pay producers versus beat makers? Do you think there's a disconnect between the two? Do you think one is higher than the other one? I mean, we talking about music producers being an umbrella of things, so therefore that could bring extra rates to things. So
most definitely. So if there's going to be more responsibility, you're going to have to pay more money at the end of the day. But easily. So like for me, like as a beat maker, like it's gonna cost you $100,000. Just I'm playing. But
no, you gotta speak that out there, man. Oh God, you gotta speak it up.
Yeah, as a beat maker, I mean, just being realistic, man. Like a lot of times too, this is why it's good to build relationships with your beat maker or your music producer, because a lot of independent artists aren't going to have the budget to pay the music producer or the beat maker. So you build these relationships, and if they believe in you, they may not. A lot of them not going to do it for free. But maybe, they'll work with you if you have a quality product. So, not to, everybody's different, depending on what level you're at. But I would say for an independent artist, like a beat itself, I mean, you could go on beat stars right now and get a beat for 99 cents.
That is true.
You know what I'm saying? But
true.
you know, I would say on the most part, like usually like at least anywhere from as low as $50 to up to like $250, $500 is for like leases, unlimited leases. And then we start talking about like exclusive beats. Like with me, just talking to some of the labels down here, you know, they're starting off at about $1,000 just for a beat itself,
Wow.
upwards of like $10,000.
You said
so it just depends on your level.
Where's that at again?
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna have to slide down there for a couple of days, man.
And guess where that's at? 3 hours from Georgia.
Oh yeah, we might have to take a little trip down there, man. Yeah, but so you talking $1,000 for a beat? I'll make a quick little pack.
Man. So it's just that networking, man.
And just a sidebar in what D is talking about too is just like, you know, there are different price ranges, but D and I talk to you more, but you know, I got some stuff coming up. We're trying to lock a date with Sweetwater at the Atmos room now. But with Atmos coming in and trying to be dominant, I feel like music producers should be happy because, you know, with Dolby Atmos, if you don't have stems, there is no Dolby Atmos mix.
There is no Dolby,
you know, and so it really forces real music production, recording, mixing, and mastering on the stereo side to even be able to translate to that. So I am excited that you know the standard of excellence is trying to be raised in that sense. So my bad, I ain't mean to jump in.
No, you good?
My bad.
Right on in. Really for this next point, I'm gonna use you on it. So can you tell us about mechanical royalties and publishing?
Gotcha. Mechanical royalties and performance royalties, or mechanical royalties and performance royalties. Yeah. So the way I like to break this down is like, you know, we look at everything at 100%, but think of a song that's 200%, and you know, each 100% side, you got the recording, the master recording side of things, and then you got the publishing or the composition of things. So like the master recording is going to be the actual physical medium or digital medium that song gets. So it's the actual recording of the song or the beat.
Right.
And then the other 100%, the composition is going to be like the lyrics, the melodies, the beat itself. So we got two sides of it. And I'm going to hit a very high level. Like on the master side, you got your master recorder revenue. So everybody, just about everybody I know, sign up with like DistroKid or, you know, CD Baby or TuneCore. And that little bit of money.
Distro.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Engage Distro. Yeah, forgot about that.
Shout out to Engage Distro. And that little bit of money, you know, whoever you decide to go with, that money that they collect, that's your master recorder revenue. So that's the money when you know, anytime that song is purchased or whatever. And like Distro can make it real easy where they can, you know, this is a plug for all my music producers. When you can send a split so easily on there. So, you know, you could send the splits for the master recorder revenue, whether that's 1%, 2%, 3%, whatever y'all decide to go on. But that would be that part of it. And then the other part of the master that I don't know if a lot of people have heard of Sound Exchange, but Sound Exchange, they collect your digital performance royalties. So basically anything that's on like a non-interactive site like Pandora, iHeartRadio, Sirius XM, anything that, you know, it's like a radio station, but you can't type in, I want to listen to Lil Baby. You got to listen to whatever they're playing. Sound Exchange will collect that part. So that's the master side.
Makes sense.
The part where the money for the music producer and beat makers kind of get big is the publishing side of it, and that's your public performance royalties and your mechanical royalties. So real quick, high level, like performance royalties, basically the songwriter. So, and when I say songwriter, this includes the artist, the actual songwriter, the beat maker, or the producer. Like you're going to be classified as an artist on BMI, ASCAP, or, you know, SoCan, CSAC, whatever. But basically, anytime your song is performed publicly, you get paid a performance royalty. And that's if your song is performed live, if it's broadcast on the radio, if it's streaming on sites, whatever it may be. Even I think even if it's played in like the bars and clubs,
right?
Like you do get a performance royalty for that.
Basically, anytime your song plays, you're getting some sort of royalty from it.
Exactly,
okay.
Playing publicly, yeah. So you get the public performance royalty from that. And if people have heard of PROs or performance rights organizations such as ASCAP, BMI, CSAC, is invite only. It is SoCan up in Canada, and then just worldwide too. Everybody has their own PRO, but those are the ones who collect your royalties for you, and you tend to get paid out every quarter in the U.S. for performance rights organizations. So if y'all have not signed up with ASCAP or BMI, go do it now.
Yeah.
Y'all may be able to correct me here, but I believe BMI is free, and then ASCAP, or it's maybe it's the other way around. BMI is like $150 fee, and then ASCAP is free to sign up. Or Kyren, you may have to correct me on that.
So, if I'm not mistaken, ASCAP is $50 on both sides, on the songwriter composition side and on the publisher side. BMI, the songwriter side, is free as a songwriter composer, but then on the publisher side, for a sole proprietor is $150, and then for like an LLC or a corporation is $250, unless that's changed.
Okay.
Gotcha.
CSAC, I'm not sure.
Yes, and CSAC, just for everybody, CSAC is an invite only. So you tend to, once you get into CSAC, that you tend to have some like writing credits, some bigger production credits, and you get invited to CSAC. So that would be, right now anybody can get online and get ASCAP and BMI. So then with mechanical royalties, that's earned every time, like per unit, when your song is sold on a physical medium or digital download. So how do I put it? So anytime there's a reproduction or a copy of the work. So if you go to like iTunes and you buy the music itself, there's a copy being made that you're downloaded from that.
Right.
So HFA, or the Harry Fox Agency, they collect these mechanical royalties from like DSPs or digital service providers such as Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, or whoever. Then they pay those royalties directly to a publisher, and then the publisher pays the songwriters, which the songwriter is the artist, beat maker, producer, etc. And I think it's 9.1 cents per song that's under 5 minutes. But that's why it's like a lot of people are like, well, I don't have a publisher. You don't have to have a publishing deal to collect your publisher,
right?
Your mechanical royalties. Like,
you should be your own publisher automatically.
You should have your own micro publishing company. And if you just want to do a publisher admin from like Song Trust, CD Baby Pro, TuneCore Publishing, you sign up, they take a little 10-15% off the top, and you get all the rest of it. Because if you don't, for the publisher share too, or I should say for the publishing royalties, there's a writer share and there's a publisher share too, and they'll pay you your writer share. But if you don't have a publisher or a pub admin, that money is just gone.
Yep.
So it's extremely important to have at least a pub admin. Me personally, I do Song Trust because I'm pretty good at keeping my catalog in order. So it's like for Song Trust, they'll find my royalties for me. They take the little 15% operating fee, and then I get the rest because I'd rather have 85% of something than zero. Take your 50%. I appreciate it. Good looking out.
Yeah.
Keep it moving.
So just to make it even more colorful than what D just said. So basically, for the listeners, this is what D's saying. So I'm an artist. I got a label called Engage Records. D has D Weatherly Beats as his name, and then he has Weatherly Shyness as his company. So as an artist, if I purchase the beat from him, what happens is that by law, before a contract is even signed, both of us own 50% of everything, right? 50% of the master, 50% of the publishings, right? We own the rights. And until those rights are transferred, then we retain that. That's why when you sign a record labels, you have to transfer the rights, because corporations don't automatically own rights to music. People do, right? Exactly. So what would happen is that D would automatically get 50% of the songwriting, 50% of the publisher. I would automatically get 50% of the songwriting, 50% of the publisher. Now, me, I'm with BMI. So as Kyren Monteiro, as a songwriter, I'm with that. And then on the publisher side, I have something called Cairo Does Music, right? So that's for me as a songwriter. Then my label, Engage Records, I have something called Engage Recordings through ASCAP. And then D on the publisher side will have his as well. So if you want to get 100% of your money, what he's saying is you got to be registered on both sides to be able to get it. It's kind of like when you get a car, you got to have your license and registrations, then you got to have insurance. You feel what I'm saying? If you don't have both and get into that accident, then you hit.
Yes, it's a wrap.
You know what I'm saying? So
really, to break that down even further, what they saying, giving you 3 different levels of this conversation. Have all your business in order if you want to get paid.
Exactly.
Basically, have all your
Young
business
Dolph said,
affairs
"Get
in
paid,
order.
young, get paid." And most of y'all ain't getting paid. Most of y'all getting played and playing.
Yes, that's
So get your-
important.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Very important. So, one of the last things. So, let's talk about the importance of content creation for artists, producers, and audio engineers. How important you think that is in today's market?
Oh man. If y'all follow me on any of my social medias, y'all know, especially Instagram, like social media content is extremely important these days. I think, I hate to say it as a musician and a lover of music, but I think content is more important than the music these days.
100% fact.
I can see that. I can.
You can
definitely
go
see that.
viral. There's artists being signed from TikTok right now.
Come on
off
now.
of one song, off of a 15-second clip. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I didn't know what a munch was when that song first came out.
Yeah.
All I knew was that you thought I was feeling you, and they got munch, whatever part. And like, I did not hear the rest of that song, but I knew that little clip, and I knew the artist just because of that. And you know, people are getting signed. Like, instead of making a project now, it's more about making a moment. If you can make a moment,
Sure, a sound.
you know, a sound, like if you just get that sound bite, you know, and I'm not saying either way is right or wrong, but that's kind of what's going on right now. So like, content is extremely important. And to kind of like to segue from what we talked about with the publishing and everything, with, you know, you got public performance royalties, you got mechanical royalties, but there's another big rising royalty as well, and it's called Sikk licensing. And
Sikk.
with
Shout
Sikk
out to
licensing,
Sikk, yeah.
Sikk, oh my gosh, like if y'all don't take anything else from this conversation we have right now, look at the Sikk licensing, because like there's so much money to be made. There's so many people making so much bread right now that you will never hear about them, and they got so much money because of Sikk licensing. And what Sikk licensing is basically whenever your song or your beat or instrumental is synced to like a audio or sent to a visual. So whether, like, you know, if you watch MTV or BET, or like Real Housewives of Atlanta come on,
Right.
and y'all hear that music that comes on, or that song that comes on right before the scene starts, and then it gets turned down, and then maybe there's a beat playing in the background of that scene. Somebody's getting paid for that. And there's two parts to that. You get a upfront sync fee, which can be anywhere from nothing to usually $500 to $1,000, and upwards of $10,000 for the sync fee up front, depending on your name and depending on the sync library that you're working with. And then you get royalties every time the episode is played and that song is played. You get a royalty every time. So just think about if you go on, I don't know what channel Keeping Up with the Kardashians come on, but just imagine you got a beat on Keep Up with the Kardashians, and that show plays nonstop all the time. Every time that song every time that show is played, you get a sync, or you get a royalty for that. And then, like we talked about earlier with like BMI.
Hey, nah, for real though.
This is really what I was going for. Hold up, that ain't the one. Hold up. Which one is it got? Look,
He don't know what button he pressing.
anyways, but go ahead, D. I'm just messing up over here. My bad. I'm over here messing up.
You all good,
Man.
And then with you know, you get a royalty for every time that is being played or whatever. So it's just like, why not do that? Like, I'm with Beat Club, Timberland's Beat Club that he has. I was like one of the first members of Beat Club or whatever, original member. And on there, we could submit for different opportunities that they post on there. There was like I think it was like a Netflix or like something. It was some, they couldn't disclose exactly what the project was, but they was looking for a certain song or a certain beat for that. And it was a work for hire. So just to clear it up real quick, if it isn't work for hire, you're not getting any royalties on that. So if it's a work for hire, make sure that upfront fee is as big as it can be. But for the work for hire, it was $100,000. So you telling me I can go in my home studio, make a fire beat, or even make a beat, then like record some vocals to it, make a real catchy song, sell it to Netflix, and I get $100,000 for one song?
Yeah.
Like, sync fees is crazy. Then like the other part of that too is something big that's coming out, or it's already out. It's called micro sync. So micro sync is TV and film. You know, if you get in a movie or a television show, micro sync is like digital or social media type stuff. So if you get your song, if somebody posts your song on, you know, on Instagram where you can choose what song is playing in the background. They'll show the artist name or whatever, like or on YouTube if there's music. Like those are micro syncs, so those are starting to pay people too. So just, I mean, sync and micro sync is major right now. Like definitely with the digital age being so big, like definitely pay attention to sync and micro sync
for sure. Like, and I'll say like I just now got into it. That's the internet is a powerful tool. Like I just found it on TikTok about sync, and ever since I've just tapped in and started to look into everything, it's making me realize like I don't think I want to sell beats to anybody except sync if I can make money like this. Like less than a minute of work, maybe a $50,000 project for 30 seconds of work. Like that's crazy to me.
It's a business where you ain't gotta hold money,
you ain't gotta
phones up to your ear, you ain't gotta do nothing but work, get paid, and take care of your family and keep doing it all over again. It's a beautiful thing. D to piggyback off what you were saying, and then I got another question. Since I got two producers on here, beat makers, we definitely got to talk about something before we get off. But like I was telling Pootie, like behind the scenes, like how you talking about artists getting signed on TikTok. I was telling him like how we was coming up like back in the day, like people was getting signed off of MySpace Music back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Soulja Boy started the whole YouTube wave, but it was many. Like I remember the artist Cassie, just the Me and You joint. She had got like 1 million streams, and I think did he sign her to Bad Boy?
Yeah, for sure.
Then he ended up marrying
her as an artist and a girlfriend.
Hey, look, that just ended like a year ago.
Did he like
all these years, man?
Looking like a Mississippi pimp. That boy,
that's crazy. And I didn't even know. We just had this conversation like a week ago, and he said MySpace Music, and I didn't even think about MySpace.
Bro, MySpace Music was the hardest social media for artists. Period. Not even close, bro. Better than TikTok, better than Facebook. Bro, MySpace Music was fire, bro. If you're an artist and you post a song, people can add it to their profile. You could finesse the top friends, getting other people do blog posts. Bro, MySpace Music was one of the most revolutionary things for the music industry. There is no TikTok, there is no none of this stuff from music is being done in social media smart technology without MySpace. MySpace Music was the foundation for the new wave. Man, look, shout out to Tom, dog. We don't know where you at.
Shout out Tom, man. He gotta be out here doing something.
I don't know. I hope you got a big check for that, boy. I hope you're rich. I hope that
he probably out here with the same white t-shirt on.
Well, man.
Same picture, never updated.
Same picture.
You need to go holler at Jordan and get that Hanes sponsored. And you trying to wear if you out here yupping in your white tee, then you need to go ahead and do that thing. Then, hey, D and Pootie, man, I had to talk about this. We talking about, everything we're talking about is business. You talk about content. Even podcasts can be profitable. Now there's so many ways that people can make money. But let's get on the music. D, you are right. Content these days is more important than the music in the sense of that's what people care about. But the music is still content, and the music is still important. If you're, first off, quit buying YouTube beats.
Stop it.
And get real music production. I don't care what y'all say. I'm gonna just go ahead and throw that out there. Quit getting the YouTube beats and get that, because you want to build relationships with real people. That way, if you do blow up, you got people that you can bring with you. You got people that you can bring out. But what I want to talk about is, and I want y'all to comment real quick, man, is like the importance of quality recording, mixing, and mastering. Like artists should take that seriously, because that's going to help you make more money. You're not going to get on a TV show if your song sounds terrible.
Right.
TikTok can sound terrible. You can sound terrible on TikTok and get a sound bite, but you're not gonna have a song blow up. You know what I'm saying, on the international scale with bad quality. Right. It's a record label don't want to pick somebody up. So D, like, what is your thoughts on like why artists should, look at mixing and mastering as a way to make money the same way they do as music videos and marketing and photo shoots? Like mixing and mastering, you should look at that as like is part of the marketing and promotion for your music.
Yeah, and I mean, to be quite honest, I've heard some songs go from a C+ to an A- with mixing and mastering, just keeping it 100.
Really?
So it's like, mixing and mastering. I mean, that's and the more like, so I'm gonna put it this way: when you're doing this as a hobby and you're doing it for fun, you know, it's cool, whatever. But when you start doing this professionally and you want to make this a career, there's like when you get into the industry, or even on the independent level, like with these independent labels, like there's a standard that you have to hit. So there is no like take me and one artist that we mentioned earlier, like we may cook up at a home studio, but when it's time to record, we go into the studio with an audio engineer. Like there ain't even it ain't even no question about it. It ain't even like you ain't even like, oh man, we can get away with this. It's just a certain standard, and there's a certain expertise too that comes along with the mixing and mastering engineer. So I mean, it's just a part, just like recording the song, writing the song, producing the song, making the beat, getting it mixed, getting it mastered, getting it advertised, marketing it. There's just all these different levels to releasing the song. So there's no question about it. It's a part of the process.
For
Simple.
sure.
So Pootie, what do you think? Why do you think, quality recording, mixing, and mastering, obviously music production, because that's what this is about, but going along with that, why do you think that artists need to take that serious?
Really just piggybacking off of D, like it's important. It's the foundation for how you want your record to go. Like if you recorded, let's just say you just recorded a song at the home studio, it might be a cool song just because you recorded it there, but you don't know the potential what your song could be if it was recorded with actual quality. Like you may be sitting on a hit song, but you never know because the quality isn't there. Like most times we put quantity over quality, and most times. So that's just what I think. D said mostly everything I was thinking for real.
And by the way, too, and these two cats will I think confirm this. Music producers do not like when you mess up their beats. So you can ride you can have a rapper had the best bars, ride the beat, but if the mixing and mastering is not right, that producer may not even want to work with you again. D, you said, bro, so bring it. Don't hold back now.
So I'm gonna say it like this, y'all. If y'all buy, like what Kyren was saying earlier about getting stems, like if you're doing this professionally, like there should be no reason why you're using an MP3. I would go as far as say there's no reason why you're using a WAV file, a two stereo,
the two tracks,
the two tracks, there should be no reason why you're using that if you're doing this, and I'm doing with my fingers right now, air quotes, if you're a professional, because there's so much that goes into the emotion of a song that you can't do when you don't have stems. If you want to take the snare drum out at a certain part, or you just want the hi-hat to ride, or you want to do some like crazy like delay throw or something, if you don't have the stems, that makes it very hard, if not impossible, to do it. And if y'all buy one of my beats and y'all mess up the way my 808 and my kick is hitting, come on now, bro, don't hit me up no more. It's a wrap, because like my reputation means more than that. That $200, $500 that you just paid me. So
hey,
I feel that.
Just so y'all know too, Frequency Canvas and Weatherly Shining got one of the hardest templates in the game. You know what? That might be a dope collaboration to release something.
A template.
Yeah, Studio One exclusive, like
that might be something.
Nah, just a whole template. The whole template is crazy.
Y'all might be on something. And really, full transparency, like what he just said, that's something I've struggled with, honestly. Like being able to mess around with stems. Like for the longest time, I've been using 2 tracks, just keeping it honest, just because I'm learning and trying to figure everything out. But now, coming into learning everything how I am, I'm starting to really understand of using my own beats and producing and hopping on my own records, so I'm able to control every aspect of the record.
But this is why it's also important, like D was saying, the process of doing that, because with stereo, so stereo is not like Atmos, right? Where it's surround sound on steroids. Right. Like stereo, you only have so much space. So the art to carving that space out and getting everything sitting,
right?
I say stereo mixing is one of the greatest arts ever known to mankind.
It is.
For sure.
And so, like, both of y'all record, mix, and master music, and y'all know that it is challenging. And another thing I'm gonna say to you producers, man, pick better beat sounds and VSTs. Like when you're doing music production, everything starts at the source. So quit being cheap and go buy Omnisphere. Quit being cheap and go get Analog Lab, Native Instruments, whatever you need. You know what I'm saying? Don't just get quality beat pads. Like, have a great sound. That's another thing D can compromise. D, I'm gonna put D on blast. D just he just connected with some people from Dreamville. Dreamville is the record label of J. Cole. So he did. He connected with some producers there. And he was showcasing the beat, and they told him, I don't even have no critiques. You already know how to make beats. Now, they wasn't just talking about how the beat feel. They talking about his sound selection, how he mixing them. That's all a part of that.
For sure.
It used to be where back in the day, producers make a beat and then spend a whole day, 2 days on getting the right snare, getting the right kick, getting the right 808, getting this. Now niggas make a beat 5 minutes and move on. No thought process into sound selection. And then you get to mixing and mastering, you get artists that bad treated rooms, ain't using the right mics and all of this. Then you send it to me and you like, do magic. And I'm like, nah, bro, I'm gonna double this invoice because y'all y'all have no clue.
Man, I feel that. D, what's your go-to VST? Go.
Man, so to keep it 100, like I'm a Studio One professional, Studio One 6 professional. All right, no, that was Kyren. Studio One 6 professional user, 100%. Whether it's recording vocals, making beats, mixing, mastering, whatever it may be, I'm in Studio One 100%.
That boy love Jesus for real.
And like I would say, the VST that is on every single beat. I'm gonna throw a little curveball. It's gonna be Valhalla Reverb.
Shout out Valhalla.
It's gonna be on every single beat. And then Omnisphere is about on 90% of my beats. I ain't gonna lie. Omnisphere. That's just everybody says Omnisphere, so I didn't want to say Omnisphere. But 90% of the time, Omnisphere is on there. But really, it's like I've invested in like buying sound packs from like Producer Grind and whatnot. So I'm just using the sounds. Like all my drums is from like Producer Grind for the most part.
So Grind, yeah, for sure.
Shameless plug. Hey, if y'all watching this PG, let's get a sponsorship.
There you go.
But with Producer Grind, like using those sounds inside of Studio One is just using their like I use the PreSonus Atom beat pad straight through PreSonus or straight through Studio One. So like I'm just using the sounds that I've invested in myself and spent money on. But yeah, Omnisphere, Valhalla. Any Fab Filter stuff for mixing, mastering.
For sure. Have you tapped into any analog Arteria? Have you tapped into any of that yet?
No, not yet.
I can dig it.
Not yet.
Yeah, well, that's definitely what's up. And Pootie, shout out to the Logic people, man. Look, Logic Pro users. Shout out to
Kyren, you gotta hit that other button that Pootie hit earlier.
Hey, look, that's crazy. It's wild because when he pressed it first, I was about to press that green button when he said Studio One. I'm not trying to hear that, but
listen, man. He keeps sending it. He keeps if Pootie keeps sitting in the Canvas Academy. He gonna be an S1 user for sure because
I don't disagree.
Because I like Logic. Logic Pro is dope. You know, Apple definitely got their hands on the market in all kind of places. I like Logic, but I think Logic is a dope song creation, like songwriter, music production tool. But I just think when it comes to high level mixing and mastering, I just think it slacks.
And at the end of the go ahead, my bad.
No, I was about to just say when you in a hybrid workflow, you start bringing in analog gear, you know, summon through the consoles and stuff. Like you can do it. I just think that there's some features that Pro Tools, Cubase, Studio One come with that I think Ableton, Logic, FL Studio, some of the more production based DAWs. I just think it lacks. I'm not saying that it's impossible to do. I just think Studio One is better.
I agree with that.
And it depends on what you just said it perfectly. It depends on what you're using it for. If you're just making beats in something, you know, you can get away. You know, FL Studio is the most popular beat making DAW out there. You know, you know, if you're doing a combination of, because like every studio I go to, I've been to several studios here in Charlotte. You know, some big ones like Audio Box where the baby and them record, Titan Studios, Maximus. T.I. was just at Maximus like last week. But like these bigger studios, if you go in there, it's going to be Pro Tools. So no matter what you use, even me being a Studio One user, you better be somewhat versed in Pro Tools, because if you go to these studios, until they have their grand awakening moment and realize Studio One is better, they gonna be in there on Pro Tools. So you need to have a good, understanding. Like on my computer right now, I got Reason Studios, I got Studio One 6, I got FL Studio 21, I got Pro Tools. Like you gotta understand what all these different programs. So when you do get in there and you're collabing with other producers and they're on FL Studio and I'm sitting there on the side like, oh, bro, I use Studio One. Like you need to be able to get in there enough to be able to collab and get the job done. If they're on Pro Tools and you got to do a little bit of engineering, you should be able to know how to start and stop the track. You should be able to know how to arm the track for recording. So just for be kind of well versed to different ones.
And I throw this in there real quick, and we approaching up on our time. This definitely been some fire stuff, and we gotta get a part 2 in, because this, for sure. You know what I'm saying. This is just so much game to cover. But how D is saying, learning Pro Tools and learning that kind of stuff, y'all need to learn hardware, because they're gonna have preamps in there. They're gonna have patch bays and all of that. Everything ain't gonna be no Slate Virtual Console. You need to learn this stuff. And Cat, and we're gonna have a whole nother conversation on this. I'm gonna say this, and then we venture off. AI, artificial intelligence, is going to replace invaluable people. Okay, maybe I said that wrong. If you don't have value, artificial intelligence is going to replace you. That's
you said it right the first time.
You definitely said it right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So you need to become fireproof for what's coming. Me and D have talked about this behind the scenes. I've talked to this about Pootie. Derrick has made a post about it on social media. If you are not solid in what you do, especially in this industry with Isotope, they got AI with Ozone now. I love Ozone. I looking at Isotope like, why are y'all making mastering easy? But that's just the day that we live in and the time that we live in. Even like when we recording this podcast on the Rodecaster Pro from Rode, it revolutionized podcast production, because it literally eliminated just the sophistication, for people who don't know anything about audio, just to be able to do this stuff. And now, look at it now. Adobe got Adobe Podcast. Yeah. Which so it's so much stuff. D and Pootie, I want y'all to tell people where they can find y'all at on social media. D, where can they find you and Weatherly Sonic Shot on socials?
So D Weatherly Beats on Google or Weatherly Sonic should pull up everything. But to be specific, on Instagram, we got D Weatherly _Beats. Everything else, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube. Shout out, YouTube. Right before I got on this podcast, I looked and I checked, and I just got over 500 subscribers on YouTube. So this is the year for YouTube.
Blessing right there. Come on, man.
We killing it this year. But yeah, D Weatherly Beats. Search it. It'll be on everything.
Pootie,
do that. All right, you can catch me on YouTube, Young Pootie, Twitter, Young Pootie 74, IG YP Go Crazy, BeatStars YP Go Crazy, Facebook Mark Elliott AKA Young Pootie, and yeah, that's where you can find me at. Yep,
and Young Pootie as in YUNG. You know what I'm saying? He got this man in high school education, so him, YUNG.
You feel me? and then for the ones out there, you can also find me on BLK.
So we all about MHS.
You feel me? We are MHS alumni.
Yeah, man. No doubt. And make sure that y'all can find Frequency Canvas on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at Frequency Canvas. Check the website out at frequencycanvas.com for all your recording and mixing and mastering needs. And you can find me on those same platforms at Kyren Monteiro. TikTok at Kyren Monteiro, the one and only, man. We love y'all, man. We're gonna get off here, man. Much respect to y'all. Y'all be blessed.